Hi friends, welcome and happy Friday. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button. And again, happy Friday and happy National Cheese Lovers Day. So this is definitely a day for me. I am a cheese lover. You know, it's funny because we associate mice to cheese, but mice don't actually even like cheese. Fun fact. So today's video actually goes along really well though with it being National Cheese Day, because the moon has always been associated to look like Swiss cheese. So today we are doing a foam grip, and this is for a friend of mine, and this is a NASA foam grip, and I did the moon. And this is so cool. Like, this really turned out cool. So I am excited to show it to you. I'm gonna come closer and show it to you. So I wanna make sure that you can see how cool this turned out. I'm just gonna kind of like turn it a little bit so you can see all the craters in there. Super cool. And I used the vintage NASA logo, the worm logo. This is the logo that they used from 75 to, I believe it's 92. And I use this logo because this is the logo from my childhood growing up here on the Space Coast. So look how cool that turned out. I love it. Turned out super cool. So if you want to see how I made this, stay tuned and we'll make it. And I hope you guys have a blessed and fantastic Friday. I'll see you later, friends. Bye. All right, friends, so we are going to make our NASA foam grip. Now, I am starting out with this glitter epoxy foam grip. So you didn't see me do this because what happens is when I have extra epoxy that I don't use, I put color or glitter or whatever in it, and then I put it in my mold, and I constantly have these going. Some of them I do just whatever random, and I keep a pack of them, so I keep them in a container so that I have them available. Some I do with a purpose. This one I did with a purpose. But I use my 2-part epoxy, some leftovers, and I put it in here. You can see I have some going from another project I did. Anyways, so my thought with this, I had somebody ask me for a NASA badge reel. Now, I live on the Space Coast of Florida. This is where I grew up. And, you know, NASA is part of our bloodline here. And, you know, I have lots of friends that work for NASA. And then this is what they wanted. So I used, this is glitter chimp. It's icing on the cake, fine glitter. And I use this instead of white because I'm doing a moon. And I wanted like a little bit of a yellow undertone. I'm gonna use a yellow badge reel. You know, I get my badge reels from Glitter Chimp, so I feel like that's gonna be a good inside background. Hey friends, real quick before I take off driving, I just wanted to say, I realized I kept saying badge reel when I meant to say foam grip. I don't know, sometimes my brain. Anyways, I'm making a foam grip, not a badge reel. I am using the hard type UV resin from Resin Rockers. I've got, this is Eye Candy, and this is the white shimmer. I have a makeup brush. My decal I cut with my Cricut. Now this is the old, this is called the worm logo. So this is the old NASA logo. This was used, I believe, from 75 to 92. So this is the the logo of my childhood. So for my friend that wanted this, this would be the good logo to do. So that's why I'm using the NASA Warm logo. I do believe back in like 2020, SpaceX put this logo on something. I want to say, was it a Falcon or the Delta 9? One of them. Don't quote me on that. But they did put this on the logo to put this logo on their rocket to put it up in space one last time. So this is the NASA Worm logo. And I've got water with bubbles in it. I've got a straw. And I will be blowing bubbles. I got a spoon to gather my bubbles. And that's it. So we are going to do the bubble method to make our NASA logo. So I have a cool story, at least I think it's cool, you might not, but I have what I consider a cool story from NASA, I'll tell you. So first I'm gonna put my hard type on and get myself a little something to smooth it around. I'm going to just put it on and cover. I want it all to be covered over the top. And I'm going to use a little cup and put it on top of it so I have something to place it. Now I've got bubbles already blown here where I was showing you. If I didn't, then I would just put the bubbles on. So I could make them as big of bubbles or small. In this case, I'm going to use these sort of smaller ones and I'm going to put them on. I want the entire thing covered in bubbles. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it under my light. And I'm going to stick something under to sort of keep it up because I don't want the top of my light to mush my bubbles down. I want my bubbles to decrease with the light. I want the light to be the thing that makes them go. So this is super easy. It's pretty quick. And I love the look that this gives. So as a nurse, for me, okay, I was born right after the original moon landing here on the Space Coast. And then growing up, I would see, it was nothing to see rockets like blow up in the sky all the time. Now, these were unmanned rockets, mind you. So it wasn't like people in them, but they're unmanned rockets. They would go up, they would blow up all the time. Like that's a significant part of my childhood is seeing these rockets just blow up in the sky. It was like no big deal. We saw it all the time. And even for the space shuttle, when we lost the space shuttle, I was actually sitting on the roof of my school, but that's a whole nother story. And that's sad. But anyways, so something cool as a nurse, I had a patient one time. This patient was a really cool guy. And so he used to work for NASA and he was part of this group that was making the rockets go. He was an engineer. And so he told me, so he was the first person to ever use a computer to solve an equation. So they went to Penn State and the computer took up the entire basement at Penn State. And he said that they put the information in and it took 3 days for the computer to give them an answer. Can you imagine? Like now we have it like on our phone. Like I am filming on my phone and I'm going to upload a video to you guys on my phone, like crazy. But the entire basement of Penn State took 3 days to get the answer. And then what they found was with the rockets, it had to do it the way the igniter was mixing with the igniting fluids, something like that. I'm probably not saying it exactly right, but basically, like, if it was going in like mixing like this, then it should have like mixed like more like this, you know? So, but really cool. Being here on the Space Coast, and as a nurse, I've met some really, really interesting people with some really cool stories. So yeah. All right, let's see. Are we dry? All right, we are dry. All right, so this one's not going to be quite as easy for you to just see up front because of, you know, it being a white glitter, but it's dry, and now I have my craters. So now I'm going to take my white here. And I'm just going to go over it. Sorry, I get this all over my my table when I show you guys. See, look, it makes a mess. So let me just step back for a second and just brush it a bit. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Can you see the craters in there? So that's my moon. All right, so now I'm just going to put a little bit more on top of this. I want to give it a, you know, rather smooth surface before I put my decal on. And then I think my yellow foam grip underneath this is going to be good. So this is going to be very simple, but super cool. And my friend that works at NASA that wants this, nobody else will have a cool one like this. Like, super cool. And when I make original ones like this, stuff like this, I generally, unless the person's like, I don't care, I generally don't make the exact same one for anybody else, because with the bubbles, they're never going to be the same, but I don't make it look anything near the same for anybody else, just because, you know, I want them to have their own original. So that looks really cool. So we're going to put that under for 4 minutes, and then I'm going to wash my hands and we'll be back. Oh my gosh. Can you see this? This looks so stinking cool. This thing is cool. I'm so excited. All right, so now I'm going to put my logo on. All right, got my logo on. Now I'm going to cover this and let it sit under for another 4 minutes, and then we'll put our pop socket on. All right, so this is gonna go under for 4 minutes, and then we'll be back. All right. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Look how awesome this is. This looks so cool. This turned out as cool as I hoped it would. I am so excited. This is going to be awesome. All right. All right, and here we go. Oh, this turned out so good.